The main thing I feel is that you all should know that as the tree grows, the roots have to grow much deeper. And they should spread also. If it doesn't happen, the tree cannot be sustained, only by Mother Earth. So the roots are in your own life, in your own heart. When we say we have become our own guru, we should really try to find out with our introspection, are we our guru or not? Because before this, your mind was on one side and your heart was on another side and your attention was in another dimension. So these three things were creating confusion within you. If you understand a human being, then you will be surprised to see how these three things act separately in a human being. And sometimes they fight also. First is your intellect and your mind. Second is your heart, your feelings, your emotions. And the third one is your attention. In these modern times, this confusion is the worst because all the time your attention is outside. It could be towards beautiful things or beautiful women or beautiful men or all kinds of nonsensical way of wasting your energy. Such attention then is absolutely like a horse which is let loose. You cannot control such an attention. And this attention runs wild from one to another. It's a fashion also. It's sort of a very popular thing to keep the attention moving all the time. But this attention that has to be towards the divine, towards the Almighty, is just being frittered away. Thus, attention doesn't grow its own roots. First is to find out about yourself. Where does your attention go? What makes you feel like looking after or concern or attention? You see, the attention comes from various problems and could be your upbringing where you are not controlled. Could be your education, could be your atmosphere in which you live, or could be your own ego or your conditioning. पानी बहुत ठंडा है शायद इस वजह से क्या चाय? हाँ? डाल दो इसमें, पी लो, गर्म हो। So this attention is being attacked by all these outside energies or negative forces, and it gets entangled. Like a river flowing straight into the ocean can get lost in a barren place. In the same way, this attention, which has to go towards the divine, gets frittered away and is punished. This weak attention cannot take you towards the divine. Ultimately, you find that all this attention is being completely absorbed or frittered away by the nonsense that's going on. Unfortunately or fortunately, you are born in these modern times. And in these modern times, as you know, it's a very chaotic condition. In these chaotic conditions, you don't know what is right and what is wrong. And there are all kinds of attractions which can take away your attention and reduce the energy of your attention. It is possible more for the people who are very right-sided. Also, the left-sided people can be very much affected. Right-sided people, as you know, go up to a point and become extremely dry, self-opinionated, and aggressive. All their attention is in aggression. While the people who are on the left side are indulging too much into their own whims and their desires and their own temptations. Both sides can fritter away your attention, which is the most important. It is the most valuable thing is your attention. But the attention cannot be controlled by a person who doesn't have a weak mind or a weak heart. Now supposing you take somebody who is a very intelligent person. The intelligent person puts all his attention in capturing the attention of others. I don't know why, but it's a kind of a paradox. The person who himself is having such a lot of aggressiveness and all that, tries to be very sweet, tries to be very nice with people, just to keep good relations, or we can say the good behavior towards people so that they pay attention to that person. This is a very subtle thing. They are not even aware about it, that we do such a thing just to make others pay attention to us. That is how we have seen that in these modern times, so many stupid things people do just to attract the attention of others. Most of the fads that had come up in modern times are just to make something stupid so that people should pay attention to them. Of course, the Saj Yogis are not like that. But I'm just pointing it out, how in the modern times you have to be very careful that you should not try to attract the attention of others. Instead of that, what you have to do is to pay attention to others in a very subtle way, not with any expectation that if you are paying attention to somebody, that person should pay attention to you. With any expectation that if you are paying attention to somebody, that person should pay attention to you. It's a very big struggle. I've seen in Sahaja Yoga also that people try to say, become very popular or become very outstanding or something of a very great qualities to show off that they are something better than others. A person who is really in connection with the divine is least bothered about how people pay attention to that person, but automatically the attention of such a person is on others, which is very, very subtle, very subtle. You cannot make out that the attention of such a person is on you, but it works, and it works beautifully. We have to understand that we have now come to the realm of the divinity. We are in the kingdom of God and we are divine people. We are very powerful people. But if we fritter away our attention, we become very, very weak people. It's easy to feel that we are Sahajogis, we have done so much of realization of others, or we have helped so many people. All this consciousness, if it comes within you, then know that you are still not fully developed Sahajogi. There should be no consciousness of what you are doing or what you are committing. There is no need to boast about it. There's no need to advertise it. Whatever you are is already can be seen by everyone. But even that desire is not needed because you are doing just for the satisfaction of your spirit. So then when we come to our heart, in the heart resides the spirit, as you know very well. Now when it is the heart which has to work over your brain and which can work, what becomes of you is nothing but you become a source of love and compassion. A source, I am saying. You do not assert on others. You do not say that I have done so much for you and what are you doing to me? What is this that I should have so much expressed in so many ways, and here you are forgetting me and not doing anything for me. So the expectation of reward, if it is there, then you must know it's your mind which is giving you these ideas and is working it out that way that you just now put attention to the amount of love the other person has given you for whatever you have given to another person. It's very subtle. So in Sahaja Yoga, you should see now yourself as just a source of love which is just flowing. In that you do not say that you have to have this or that, or you have to achieve this goal, or you have to become that. It's finished now. Once you have become the source, then how can you become something? The thing is, those who are receiving from the source want to have some sort of a reward or some sort of a recognition. In this subtle way, if you move, your mind is very clever. In Sahaja Yoga, we have very clever, intelligent people. But this mind, you have to be very careful. Because this mind can cheat you.